Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
Child, that footage of Joan Rivers exposing Barack and Michelle Obama just never gets old, right? And it's always been super sus how she died literally weeks after saying that Michelle is trans and Barack is on the DL. But was there any truth to whatever she said? And what has Michelle Obama said about the speculations made by Joan Rivers in light of their family secrets being exposed left, right, and center in the last couple of weeks? Yes, honey, the internet is going wild with speculations of Barack being on the DL, Michelle being a dude, people who allegedly died because of their family secrets like Chef Tafari Campbell, and so much more. It's crazy, y'all. It's super crazy. And as always, I will be breaking down the tea. Okay, you all know that over the years, people have speculated that because Michelle is a bit masculine, she is either a man or trans. Like, folks have even gone to weird extents of photoshopping her photos to prove the point. But it's not just about some photoshops here and there. When I tell y'all that there's a long paper trail of alleged receipts, baby, even I couldn't believe it when I decided to go down that rabbit hole. For starters, people have always pointed out over the years how Barack Obama mistakenly called Michelle Michael or Mike during a couple speeches and interviews. And I'm talking about this happening a few times, y'all.
Distinguished guests and men and women of the finest military in the world. And most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah. Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's
keep the noise levels up.
Want to make sure he knows we're coming, or she.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if she's got some cubs, that's when you really got to worry.
Yeah. You know what my kids asked me? They said, "You've got to ask the president. Does anything scare him?"
You know, well, when Michelle's mad, I get worried.
Other than this, there's how the Obamas always posted wedding pics, but no pregnancy pics or pics of the girls until 3 to 6 years old. Apparently, Michelle tries to tell the public that Malia and Sasha were conceived through IVF, but the truth is that the daughter's real mother is allegedly Dr. Anita Blanchard, who was supposedly the same doctor that delivered the Obama daughters. There are even photos of the two families vacationing together in Hawaii that made rounds with people claiming that the real parents, Martin Nesbitt and Dr. Anita Blanchard, were always following closely behind so they could keep an eye on the Obamas. Oh, I'm just getting started, loves, because this is one hell of a rabbit hole. So based on what people dug up on the internet, there are receipts suggesting that Michelle Obama was registered to vote as a man from 1994 until 2008, according to documents allegedly obtained from the Illinois State Board of Elections. Allegedly, Michelle officially changed her gender to female in 2008, the same year her husband was running for the presidency. People have also reposted a tweet from Barack's half-brother Malik asking the question, is Michelle Michael? Meaning there are family members who also find everything suspicious. Then roughly 3 years later, Malik released a follow-up tweet stating he could not confirm or deny the legend of Big Mike, aka Michael LaVaughn Robinson. Malik has actually posted a few more times, including as recently as 2024, about how he believes that Michelle is a he, and the Obamas are trying to hide her true identity. I mean, for a couple that has generally been praised as the perfect couple all over the world, even I have to admit that all this info is shocking, and it gets even juicier. In the last couple of days, there have also been reports that the Obamas have gotten rid of some of the people who knew about their family secrets, like Chef Tafari Campbell. The thing is, Chef Tafari had been working in the White House, and he went on to work for the Obama family as a personal chef after they left office. While at the White House, Tafari was one of the chefs who brewed White House Honey Ale beer, using honey from Michelle's South Lawn garden. And in 2012, the White House even released a video of Tafari and then assistant chef Sam Cass demonstrating the beer making process. Unfortunately, Tafari lost his life, and what happened was that he was out paddleboarding on a pond near the Obama's home when he lost his balance and fell in the water. He was not wearing his life jacket and he was not attached to the paddleboard, and reportedly fought to stay above the water before eventually succumbing. Tafari's body was uncovered after a 2-day search in Edgerton Great Pond near the home owned by the Obamas. According to a police report, the search began after a fellow paddleboarder paddleboarder observed him dip into the water, reappear briefly, struggling to stay on the surface, then submerge entirely. The witness also told police they tried to swim to Tafari to save him, but did not reach him in time. Then the person swam to shore, where they alerted someone to call 911. It was reported that when Tafari was visiting Martha's Vineyard at the time of his passing, Barack and Michelle were not present at the residence. But while the conclusion was an accident, some things just didn't make sense. For instance, over 10 days after the incident, authorities were still rejecting requests for even basic facts, including the identity of the sole witness and the 911 caller, including even the gender. But it was later found out that the witness was a woman. The police were citing a public records law exemption that allows police to withhold any information that could jeopardize an active investigation. But it did make sense because they said there was no foul play. At the time, the only matter pending was a toxicology report that could show if Tafari Campbell had in his system or suffered some sort of medical episode. But guess what? That was not possible because the police allegedly lost Tafari's blood sample. According to an unconfirmed source, it was accidentally discarded by a lab intern, and the source said the intern unfortunately put it in the wrong location. It was placed in with batches to be destroyed. Oh, how convenient, right? Out of all the blood samples that could have disappeared, the police lost the blood sample of Barack Obama's chef, and as if that wasn't suspicious enough, information as to the details surrounding the 911 distress call were mysteriously omitted from police logs. Apparently, while the call was added to the logs of the Edgerton Police Department, the critical information detailing the purpose of the Tafari call was left blank. And surprisingly, all other calls on that eventful night were properly documented. And you know what law enforcement said? It was left out due to a clerical error. Again, how so very convenient. Honey, a lot of things have never added up about Tafari's death, and something that was being said was that Tafari had head injuries when he was found, which led people to believe that it was not an accident. There were also reports that he was found in less than 4 feet of water and that the 911 call was made hours after he fell off his paddleboard. And it was also claimed that Obama's personal coroner was the one who conducted the autopsy. Also, there had been claims that Tafari was writing a tell-all book, and he was unalived because of that. Add on to the fact that in 2015, former White House chef Walter Scheib also disappeared while hiking. His body was found several days after he set out on his hike, in what was then described as a mountain drainage flowing with surface runoff. It was not clear what happened since he had been hiking alone, but the cause of death was drowning, just like Tafari. So when followers say that they know the Obamas are hiding a lot of secrets, they are probably onto something. And you know what? It wasn't just Joan Rivers who was out here exposing the Obamas as a prominent figure. Someone like Deanna Lorraine made speculations when she tweeted, "Michelle Obama is releasing a documentary on Netflix called Becoming. I wonder what she's becoming." Another person who made a wild comment is Stu Peters, who also wrote, "Barack doesn't have children, and he definitely doesn't have them with Michelle. Martin Nesbitt and Anita Blanchard are Sasha and Malia Obama's real parents. Nesbitt is also the chairman of the Obama Foundation. Even Chelsea Clinton once suggested that Barack married a man in her since-deleted delusional tweet. In another instance, Lynn Wood brought attention to the fact that the Obama children were adopted, and the world was lied to about something as simple as that. For reference, Lynn Wood and his law firm specialize in defamation lawsuits, and any good lawyer knows not to put anything in writing they cannot defend. We also had Dr. Rafael Espinanzo, who was entrusted with former First Lady Michelle Obama's care during the 2008 presidential election. And apparently, Dr. Rafael said quite a bit as well. Now, I personally cannot confirm the doctor's words, but he allegedly said, "I know what I saw. Michelle Obama is not a woman who used to be a man. Michelle Obama is just a man with breast implants and a huge shaving bill. On the campaign trail, no medical staff were allowed to go near her other than to take vitals if she got sick, which she never did. I know what I know because I walked in on him, while he was taking a leak standing up in the bathroom in Trenton. They paid me millions for my silence, but after seeing what they did to this country, I just can't keep quiet. Let them sue me." Ciao. Well, like I mentioned, something else that has been said is that Barack is comfortable being with Michelle because he is also allegedly on the DL. I mean, I'm sure y'all have heard about that guy, Larry Sinclair, and how he has said for over a decade that he hooked up with Barack more than once.
I was on a night out, had asked a limo driver if he knew anyone that would be interested in showing me around the town, and it was clear for the limo driver that I was looking for someone to enjoy the night with. The introduction was made through the limo driver.
And what happened?
We had a few drinks. I had made some comments about Warner, so we got in the limo and left, and we started drinking. I started snorting. He started smoking. I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh. and I performed Barack Obama.
In addition, as far as the allegations about Barack being on the DL, there's also a letter that has been making rounds that Barack wrote to his ex-girlfriend, Alex McNear, saying that he made love to men every day in the imagination. He wrote, "In regard to homosexuality, I must say that I believe this is an attempt to remove oneself from the present, a refusal, perhaps to perpetuate the endless farce of earthly life. You see, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. My mind is androgynous to a great extent, and I hope to make it more so until I can think in terms of people, not women as opposed to men. But in returning to the body, I see that I have been made a man, and physically in life, I choose to accept that contingency." Yes, a letter about having fantasies doesn't prove anything, but to a lot of people, it does say a lot considering the allegations that have been made about Barack. People are also saying that someone like Joan Rivers knew exactly what was up, and because of that, they wouldn't be surprised if the Obamas had something to do with her death. Child, I really don't know what to think of everything that is being exposed about the Obamas as of late, but I would love to know your thoughts. Do you think Joan Rivers was onto something? And what are your thoughts about all the alleged skeletons coming to light? Sound